Appearance on Dion's Daily Dose does not imply endorsement from or by any candidate or guest. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed by Dion Bergeron or Dion's Daily Dose are his own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of any guest. Material and information presented is for general information purposes only. The Dion's Daily Dose name in all forms and abbreviations are the property of its owners, and its use does not imply endorsement of or opposition to any specific organization, product, or service. If you'd like to support the show, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/Dion's Daily Dose.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Dion's Daily Dose for Thursday, January 21st. So as you can see, I'm working on something right now. I got a second monitor so that hopefully I have a new video card coming in as well. And what this means is I should be able to stream and screen share without causing any lag or any issues. As a matter of fact, I plan on having anything that I screen share up on here, and then you can see the mouse over here. It goes between monitors. I had a dual monitor setup before, and I really enjoyed it. I liked it, but that was many years ago. I haven't had two good monitors in quite a while, so we're getting it set up. It's not as great as it's going to be. Just stick with me. This monitor, though, one thing I've noticed is that it throws off a very different light than this monitor. So I'm still working on lighting issues, and I'm going to get a background and et cetera, et cetera. But we'll get there. It's a work in progress. Just bear with me. Today, what I want to talk about is Medicare for All is what it's been touted as, but essentially what it is it's government-run healthcare. It's healthcare that doesn't care about the free market. It's fully government in charge, but in general, you don't have to pay for it. Now, on the surface, this sounds like a great idea, right? It sounds like something that might be fantastic, right? You can go to the doctor, you can get your prescriptions, you can do whatever you need to do, and you don't have to worry about paying for it. Or maybe you pay a small amount as opposed to standard traditional private insurance, which, as we all know, is astronomical. It's very, very expensive, and many people can't afford it, especially, seniors, the elderly, the disabled, those on limited fixed incomes. One thing I want to tell you, though, I keep noticing, right, my hair. So look, I've been trying to go to my barber. If anyone knows Franklin Street Barbers in Michigan City, that's my barber. I've not been able to get in touch with the guy. I have left several voicemails. I have gone by the shop. I don't know if they're closed. I don't know. But so I got to find a new barber, apparently. Or I don't know if he's on vacation. There's the only sign up in the window is one in the front that says call this number to make an appointment, of which I called, left a message. I haven't heard anything. So anyway, let's talk about government-run healthcare. Eric, good to see you. Bill, hello there. So one aspect that a lot of people don't seem to realize or don't seem to factor in to account is that anytime the government takes something over, they also take over control of that. Now, and Eric says it too, look at the VA, right? Until the Trump administration, however you feel about Trump, the problem is the VA was treating our veterans horribly. People were waiting an inordinate amount of time for treatment, for things like that. Even if we believe those people that say, oh, it's not going to be like the VA, it's going to be a completely different story. It's going to be better. It'll be this, it'll be that. The problem that we're looking at is the government is going to have complete control over your treatment. They're going to tell you what you can get. Look at it this way. Let's say for a moment that, let's talk about feminine hygiene products. My wife and I have actually discussed this at length. Obviously, she's the female. I'm not female. I don't buy feminine hygiene products except for her. She knows quite a bit about them. She's used them all her life, right? Well, the majority of it. So we were talking about it, and it comes down to, okay, let's say for a moment, because there are many that want government health care, especially, to pay for these types of products. The problem is when the government starts paying for things, they decide what they're going to pay for. They decide, okay, yeah, we'll cover it, but you're only going to get the Walgreens off brand or the Walmart off brand. So let's factor that in, right? Let's say, okay, we have all of our feminine hygiene products paid for, but you can't get this brand or that brand or the heavy flow or this or that. You can't get any of that. You can only get the standard, let's say, this brand, this kind, and that's it. Okay, well, that sucks because I don't have choice, but I don't have to pay for it, right? Well, maybe you don't, but someone does. Someone, aka taxpayers, still have to pay for all of these things. There is no free, right? So let's look at other aspects. Let's take it to the inevitable conclusion. Since prenatal care is so expensive and abortions are relatively cheap, what then are we going to do about prenatal care? Well, maybe all of a sudden we adopt a policy, much like China, where after X number of children, the United States government no longer pays. They no longer pay for prenatal care. They no longer pay for all the testing. They no longer pay for all the things that are necessary in order to have a healthy baby. But they will pay for an abortion. Is that okay? Does that fit into your government health care idea? Let's take it a step further. Let's say that let's talk about gender confirmation surgery for a moment, right? Or whatever, gender reassignment surgery, becoming a different gender, sex, whatever, than what you were at birth. Let me clarify my standing on that. You do whatever you want. If you want to be this person or that person, if you be happier as a different gender, sex, whatever, knock yourself out. I don't think I should have to pay for it. Here's the issue, right? Especially when you talk long-term health care, right? Yeah, exactly. Matt says, I'm from the government and I'm here to help. Those are terrifying words. Hi, Paula. Thanks for coming here. So, look, we have a situation that I don't believe people understand exactly the Pandora's box that's being opened up here. Let's say for a moment that your child is autistic or even has ADHD. And the government says to you, yeah, we'll pay for his medications, right? All covered, no problem. Go to the doctor, cover his medications, but it has to be this type of medication. What if that type of medication turns your child into essentially a walking zombie? Because there are those medications that do that. Or what if the medication has violent side effects, or even just health related side effects, right? Or the government tells you, okay, we'll pay for this surgery, but only if you do this, this, and this first, because that's how it works. Look, I'm as frustrated as anyone else when it comes to insurance companies. It's very expensive. Our healthcare treatment is ridiculous. All of these things are a lead up to the inevitable. When you control the healthcare of the people, you control the people. Our capitalistic free market system is far from perfect, but it beats the alternative. Because how long until we tell mothers, expectant mothers, well, you have to have this test to determine if your child is at severe risk for Down syndrome. If you choose to give birth to this child, we won't pay for any health care for this child. We won't pay for you. They won't be eligible for special programs. They won't be able to get on the Medicaid waiver. You won't get any assistance of any kind, or you can abort. Because listen, the precedent's already there for this. There are European countries that already have a policy very, very similar to this. Do they force you to have an abortion? No, they don't tell you you have to have an abortion. What they do is tell you, well, if you choose to go through with the pregnancy, if you choose to give birth to this child is not eligible for health care benefits. It's not going to receive any treatment. Nothing's going to come of that. That's a problem. That's absolutely a problem. So Matt put an interesting comment. He says, check out Biden's non-existent EOs on the Federal Register. So let me see if I can. Let's see if this works. Yep. Okay. So let's see here. I think he sent me a link. Let's check that out. Sounds interesting. I want to see this. Let's see here. I'll bring this up real quick. And of course, you notice, so obviously, I was looking at graphics card, and here it is. I'm getting to it now. All the lag and the reason this stuff is taking forever should be fixed with the new graphics card, I'm hoping. So let's see here. The most recent one. Okay, so we got executive orders. 19, securing updated and necessary statutory evaluations timely that's by the FDA. I don't see January 14th, 13th. I don't see anything. Let's see here. On or after 12/20/20. Look at none. 0 documents found. Look at that. That is interesting. That is very interesting. Why are Biden's executive orders that he signed not listed on the Federal Register? Advanced search presidential, Matt says. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, there's nothing here. There's nothing here. That is interesting. Let's just do here. Let's take out executive orders and let's look at presidential. Nothing. 0. What happened to all these executive orders Biden signed? Shouldn't they be in the Federal Register by now? How long does it normally take? How long does it normally take for an executive order signed by an actual president to be entered into the Federal Register? I don't know. This isn't information that I know. That's very interesting. I will say that. So here's my question, right? As far as government-run healthcare goes, whether you call it Medicare for All, whether you call it universal healthcare or single-payer care or any of that stuff, let's assume for a moment that you're told you have terminal cancer. It costs too much money to give you the treatments that would alleviate your pain. It's too expensive. Oh, Jack says Federal Register is published on Mondays. Thank you. All right, we will check. We will check this again on Monday. As you can see, the brightness. I'm still working on getting stuff sorted, but we'll figure it out. So let's assume that you're a cancer patient. You're told by the government your treatment is too expensive, whether it's drugs, whether it's to alleviate the pain, whether it's radiation therapy, chemotherapy, any of these things. Your treatment is too expensive. You'll have to pay for it yourself, or you won't receive it. Is that what we want? Is that? And bear in mind, let's look at Italy. Italy has government health care. They're one of the models of, or at least they're one of the models of government-run healthcare, single-payer care, right? Oh, that's fantastic. Bear in mind, ladies and gentlemen, that at the height of the coronavirus epidemic, people were told you can't receive treatment. You're too old. You're too high risk. We have to save that treatment for people that matter. Because that's basically what they're telling them. We have to save these things for people that matter. You don't matter. Your life doesn't matter to us. Because it's a game of numbers. It really is. And if you go to the root cause of the problem, right? It comes down to what is the best for the most number of people. The outliers, right? The small, minuscule number of people that need to be saved, that need that life-saving treatment. Well, they don't matter. They cost too much money, right? Don't let them fool you, ladies and gentlemen. It is absolutely all about the money. It's what it comes down to. For us, it's about the money. For government, it's about control. If they can dictate your health care, they can dictate what treatment you receive, what medications you're on, whether you get a vaccine or not, and whether you are forced to get a vaccine or not. I can't stress this enough. This is a big deal. I am legitimately concerned about a lot of things that are going to be pushed by this administration. Not the least of which is this. They're already trying to call it Biden care. Have you seen this? Oh my. Anyway, I'm actually surprised they're not just coming out and calling it Harris care, but whatever. So let's take that to the inevitable conclusion, because I touched on it earlier, but I really want people, especially the non-conservatives, the far left liberals, I want you to stop and think. Let's assume for a moment that you're okay with things like AOC's list and banning Trump supporters, and if you enabled this president, then you're going to pay, right? There's talk of people wanting to send Trump supporters' children to re-education camps, right? For wrongthink. Number one, that's terrifying. But number two, if you're okay with that, if you're okay with the government deciding what is correct and incorrect as far as your thought processes go, then obviously you're perfectly okay with LGBTQ plus, whatever it is now, being shipped to re-education centers as well, right? Because they need to be reprogrammed. If you're not okay with LGBTQ being reprogrammed, how can you possibly be okay with Trump supporters, children, whatever, conservatives being reprogrammed? How is that okay? It's the sheer level of hypocrisy, which I'm going to do an entire episode on hypocrisy, but think about that. Government-run healthcare, government-controlled healthcare has an inevitable conclusion. And the inevitable conclusion from this is the government's going to dictate what you do and how you do it. It's going to tell you it's okay for this, it's not okay for that. We will pay for this, we will not pay for that. If you want this, you're out of luck. There's a reason, and look, I hate big pharma. Who was it? Someone up here put, Jim put big pharma. Absolutely, big pharma is absolutely in control. And if you remember the Indiana's governor actually sent a shout out to Eli Lilly in the middle of a debate. I was absolutely. Let's see here. Bill asked, just an observation, during the swearing-in process, why did Harris have a purse or clutch or whatever between her hand and the Bible? You know what, Bill? I can't answer that because I didn't watch it. I just, number one, I wasn't interested. I have no interest whatsoever in watching this sham. And I just can't. Let me ask you this, and this is for all of you out there watching either right now or later on when you replay this. How do you feel about Mike Pence coming back to his home state of Indiana? I found it absolutely amusing when I read, this is interesting. So Matt says he sent me a link to the White House YouTube page. Biden is talking about executive orders, and someone put Hunter's voice over the video talking about a plea deal. That's interesting. I will definitely check that out after the video. Bill says, Judas, how do you feel about it? I have actually looked into it, and there are those that seem to believe that Pence's only option was to certify the election. I disagree. You are almost compelled to speak up and stop something that is illegal. Whether there was adequate proof or not of voter fraud, that's irrelevant. What I will say to me is that there were enough truly questionable events that there should have been a committee. There's that 10-day period where they could have looked at things and made an independent determination. Why was this not a vote? Why did Pence fold so quickly? Let's not forget, ladies and gentlemen, the funeral. George Bush's funeral, they handed out cards. I'm sure you've seen it. I'm sure you've seen the videos. They open the program, and there's a little note, little envelope that they open up and they read. It's been making the rounds. I would love to know what was in those envelopes, because some of the expressions on the faces of the people that got them, like Bill says, white envelopes. The most telling one, I believe, was George W. Bush got one, showed his wife, or his wife is actually, I believe, the one that read it, Laura. She shows Jeb, and the look that goes over Jeb's face is priceless. Is absolutely like unmistakable shook. He is absolutely shook. Bill says 30 pieces of silver doesn't go far these days. That's absolutely right. Matt says he's on the fence. He may have done the right thing to seal the deal. He may have been part of this plan all along. I don't know. What I do know is it's a dark day. Now, my wife actually came to me and she said, so how are you feeling about the plan, right? Now, she's been a doubter, and I respect that, because all she asks is that I spend some time and actually evaluate. I have never been a rah-rah cheerleader for the plan. Let's just leave it there. Because, man, they're banning everybody these days. You just can't say anything anymore. But I've found the information interesting, and that's what she asked me. She's like, do you still believe or whatever? I said, here's the thing. I never believed or disbelieved. What I did was take the information that was dropped, because some of it was very, very interesting. Some of it led in very interesting places. For example, the Rothschild banking family, the Pacers, these are all things that I really didn't know anything about until I started following drops. There is nothing in there that makes me disbelieve the information that I researched on my own. I did my own research when it came to the Rothschilds, when it came to the Pacers, when it came to the connections between mainstream media and political entities and officials. These are all factual things. And so it's disingenuous to say, well, do you still believe in it? I don't believe or disbelieve. I believe in facts. And the facts are that there are things going on at high levels that we have no idea about. We're starting to learn, right? Yeah. So what do you guys think about Lynn Wood? I've read a lot of things about Lynn Wood. I will say I find it interesting that an attorney who is very well known for the cases that they did has been able to say the things that they've said without worrying about things like libel and slander. There haven't been, as far as I know, there haven't been any lawsuits for prosecution, or excuse me, for libel or slander attempting to come after Lynn. Matt says Lynn says Mike is a traitorous. I don't know. One thing I do find extremely interesting, though, is the connection between the rate of, and look, I before we go any further, I want to make it very clear. I don't know Mike Pence. Never even been in the same room with the man. I don't know if he's a good guy, a bad guy, somewhere in between. But let's not forget that when Pence was governor, Indiana had a massive, massive human trafficking problem. Huge. Was he responsible for this? I'm not saying that. But I do find it very interesting that there is a connection between a certain list and certain intelligence that General Mike Flynn uncovered and a conversation with the vice president. Suddenly, Flynn was out. And this whole, agent for Russia and all this crap came up. I don't know. I can't speak to that, but I do know that I'm very, very disappointed with Mike Pence. Let's bear in mind also that Mike Pence attended the inauguration of Joe Biden, but didn't bother to attend Donald Trump's farewell ceremony. I think that says it all. The guy is a politician, a pure, born and bred politician. That really says it all. I don't know if he's white hat, black hat, or somewhere in between, but he is absolutely a politician. Speaking of politicians, I don't know if you've been paying attention, but okay, sorry about that. For those of you that stuck around, I appreciate it. It seems that my system locked up. This has been happening with the dual screen setup. I think it's the graphics card. I should have a new one tomorrow. It was supposed to be here today, by the way. I ordered one. It said, yeah, I paid for the expedited shipping. It should have been here today. I get a message today saying, oh, it's been delayed. allegedly it'll be here tomorrow. If it is, I'll get it put in, and the freezes, fingers crossed, should be a thing of the past. I don't know if you heard the audio. Unfortunately, once it locked up, I just had to do a quick reboot. So thank you for sticking around for a bit. Again, like I said, hopefully tomorrow this will be a thing of the past. So Matt says Trump never distanced himself from Lynn, and the only defamation case is from the Dominion machines to Powell. That's it. So it should be interesting for those that I find it interesting too. By the way, that CNN, MSNBC, mainstream media has been all in on covering the people that believed something was going to happen on Inauguration Day and are extremely disappointed and are, quote, done with the plan, the movement, whatever. I told my son the day before the inauguration, I said, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if anything's going to happen. But one thing that we've seen consistently is look over here and something actually happens over here, right? Look over here. This is what we're going to do. And then they actually do something else. If something is going to happen, it could very well happen. And it will be in the next 15 days, 10 to 15 days. We'll see. I don't know. I am prepared. Either way, whatever happens, and like I said before, for those that believe that everything's over, there's no other further anything coming except a Biden-Harris administration, what does that mean for us? It means that we're looking at all the facade coming away. From day one, Biden has attempted to throw us right back into the Paris Accord. Now, let's bear in mind, ladies and gentlemen, that is a job killer. It is an economy killer. We're talking billions of dollars shipped over. And here's the problem. Let me just get it out there. I am not against clean air and water and all those things. I am not against reducing our carbon footprint and all those things. What I am against is double standards. I am against expecting the United States, Canada, all these other countries to abide by a certain set of regulations and allowing China, India, and countries like that. Doesn't matter, right? No issues. That's perfectly okay. They can do whatever they want. We're the only ones penalized. That's the issue. Matt says Orange Man never shows his hand. And I agree with that. I will become an instant felon under Biden's gun control program. Exactly. You spend your whole life attempting to follow the law, be a responsible gun owner, and all of a sudden, boom, you're a felon. It's concerning. It's concerning, to say the least. 14,000 people lost their jobs with the loss of the Keystone Pipeline. Oh, I got to show you this while I'm thinking about it. Check this out. It's absolutely mind-blowingly hilarious. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, here it is. Let me share this with you because here, I'm gonna put it over here. We're gonna try this. I have not seen how this works yet. Okay. So Portland protesters, right? Antifa, good old Antifa is still rioting. They did not get their way, they say. Biden won, and they are still burning Portland and Seattle. Let's not forget. Anti-fascist protesters. This is the hilarious part to me, is they actually, the mainstream media still continues to call these people anti-fascists. Ladies and gentlemen, fascism is where they don't respect your freedom of speech. It's where they don't respect your right to say or do what you want. They are the definition of fascism. But let me show you what we're talking about here. This is, oh my goodness. So, Inauguration Day in Portland, tear gas, arrests, demonstrations. At least 3 events were planned in the Portland area. Crowds of people across Portland turned violent on Inauguration Day, smashing windows at the Democratic Party of Oregon and later targeting the Immigrations and Customs Enforcement Facility, where federal officers declared an unlawful assembly. A crowd of around 150 people gathered at Revolution Hall in southeast Portland around 2 p.m. Less than an hour later, a few officers on bicycles rode into the parking lot and were quickly surrounded by dozens of people, Portland police said. The group took one officer's bicycle. I wonder if that's like Grand Bike Auto, Grand Theft Bike, maybe. More officers arrived and they got the bicycle back, but the crowd wouldn't let the officers leave. Police said reinforcements came and they seized some long poles and a large knife from people in the crowd before setting off a smoke canister to escape. They began marching down Southeast Stark Street. They eventually reached the Democratic Party of Oregon's headquarters on Northeast 9th Avenue. Go away. Where they smashed windows and left graffiti. Some dragged dumpsters into the street and lit their contents on fire. Look at these people. The group quickly dispersed, but officers pursued some through neighborhoods. 8 people were arrested from the demonstration, 4 from Portland, 2 from Albany, 1 each from McMinnville and Vancouver. They are Kyle Romstadt, 22, I don't even know how you say this name, Kaivi Duvia, 22, Nicole Aria Rose, 25, Daryl Kimberlin, 31, Jean V. Paris, 18, Alyssa Hartley Davis, Shraska, 25, and Davis Allen Beeman, 38. Obviously, they're not in order because, anyway, they face charges ranging from riot, criminal mischief, disorderly conduct, interfering with a peace officer, reckless burning, and possession of a destructive device. I mean, it's pretty clear looking at these people. I mean, come on. Anyway, this is where we're at. They get their way, at least in appearance, but it's still not good enough, right? It's still not good enough. They were chanting, and it's mind-boggling. Listen, I want to put something out here. This is not really related, but I got a YouTube video from someone that told me that currently cases in the LaPorte County system, you can't go in person to watch because of COVID, and they're not streaming them. So my question is, does that Bill says I have underwear older than these kids. Yeah, some of them. Does that break the law? Is that against the Constitution? There seems to be a strong argument for yes there, because it's supposed to be a public venue. You're supposed to be able to attend trials unless there is a specific reason, whether it is for the safety of the jury or something like that. We're supposed to have a free and open justice system, right? We're supposed to be able to go to trials, or at the very least, watch them. So I'll be interested to see what happens with that. I'm going to do a little digging into it myself and see what I can find out. But it should be interesting. Bill says YouTube deletes portions of dislikes from Biden video, and they said it was spam. Yeah. I have been called a deplorable and a thug. Spam is new. Yeah. Here's the thing. Anytime YouTube gets something they don't like, then they will call it spam or a violation of service. Uh, it's absolutely mind blowing. So I don't expect it's going to work, but I'm going to try something. I have a tertiary Twitter account that is at Dion's Daily Dose on Twitter. I'm still trying to get Periscope to work at all. I don't know if. Here's the problem. When I go to link Periscope to the new account, it's not new. It's been around for a while, but I haven't really utilized it for streaming. I've been using my other one. Anytime I try to link it, it tries to log into my old account automatically. It won't log me out of the old account via Periscope. Whoops. So that I can relink the new one. Once I get the new graphics card and I get stuff set up and hopefully the lockups go away, I'll be able to focus on that and try to get stuff going. I'm also trying to get a stable streaming platform that isn't YouTube because I don't like being told what I can and cannot say at all. This country is founded on having open discussions where you might say something that hurts someone's feelings. God forbid. That's it for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Again, fingers crossed that my video card actually comes in tomorrow and that it works. The last time I did a computer upgrade, I was down for a day because something happened, but that's the issues that you have. All right. So I checked into CloudHub and Rumble. The problem is I can't figure out the nice thing about Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter is that I can live stream to them. They have the proper API set up that I'll be honest, I don't know a whole lot about it. I know a little bit. I'm still looking into, I'm going to watch that video, Matt, as soon as I wrap this up. I'm working on it. I'm definitely working on it. We're gonna get some stuff going, and you'll have alternative options here. But thank you as always for joining me. God bless you, people. You're why I do this. Bottom line. So thank you for joining me. God bless you. God bless Indiana, and God bless the United States of America. I haven't given up, and neither should you. Thank you.
If you'd like to support the show, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/Dion's Daily Dose. This has been Dion's Daily Dose, hosted by Dion Bergeron. Executive producers Sean Holgram and Michael Beebe. Copyright 2021. Dion's Daily Dose, all rights reserved.